Hello, today we want to talk about Experian Business Credit. We're going to talk about Experian Business Credit scores, how they work, how to get your BINS number, which is something that is assigned to all businesses with Experian. Basically everything you need to know about Experian Business Credit. Now, I know you probably heard the name Experian as it pertains to consumer credit, but most people don't really know how big Experian is when it comes to business credit and how much effect they have as it pertains to credit lines, loans. Matter of fact, you're gonna know today, you actually will find out that Experian Business Credit is majority used, the #1 credit bureau used when it comes to getting credit lines and loans approved. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. If it's your first time joining us today, my name is Brian Otieno, founder of Predictive Consulting Group, and over the years we've helped thousands of business owners and entrepreneurs just like yourself start, grow, or even expand their business. And one of the very unique things that we introduce and like to educate people on is business credit, the power of business credit, and the importance of setting up business credit. So again, on today's topic, we're going to be talking about Experian Business Credit, the importance of Experian Business Credit, how they're utilized in the business credit funding world, and how you can start building your own Experian Business Credit. So a little bit of history. Of course, we know Experian in the consumer world. There's three major credit bureaus, Experian, Treasury, and Equifax. That's on the consumer world. On the business side, there's also three major credit bureaus. There's Dun & Bradstreet, the largest one. There's Experian, the second largest one, but in my opinion, I think they have the most relevant information as far as when it comes to evaluating risk because of how their systems are set up. But Experian, the second largest one, I believe at this time they have about 20 million business records. And then lastly, you have Equifax Business. So first and foremost, you need to understand basically Experian is majority used in the business world as far as credit and loans, the #1. The reason why is the way their score works. So you need to know first off, you are going to have an Experian credit score. It happens pretty much automatically. Just like when you have consumer credit, they have only two factors, two things they look for in order for them to start generating a score. They look for #1 SIC code. If they see or they find any information within the Secretary of State, they go out there and they have computers to scan. If they find your business, then they're immediately going to issue a BINS number, and that BINS number is going to generate a score. #2, they look for any trade line. At least one trade line is needed in order for you to have an Experian Business Credit Score. The credit score ranges between 0 to 100, okay? Now, why am I telling you this? Because immediately once Experian finds your business, a score is going to be generated. And if you do not have a good enough score, if you just have one account or if you don't have any information on there, you're going to be looking like you're very high risk when it comes to creditors. And again, creditors will look at your Experian credit, especially when you're going out there and you're applying for any kind of credit lines or any kind of loans for your business. Creditors will look at your Experian credit. So you want to make sure you know what's on your credit report before creditors actually look at your credit score. The reason behind this is, what do you do when you get denied for business credit? I mean, what do? You just go home and cry? After reading that vague letter that you will be denied for whatever reason, most consumers, most business owners do not know why. That's the importance and why I want to educate people about this, is so you understand and know the reason why you approved, especially when it comes to business credit. There's just so many different things that lenders do look for that a lot of people are just really confused about. So I want you to know, most likely if you've been in business for at least 6 months or a year, you do have a business credit score with Experian. If you've been in business for more than a couple of months or so, you do have a business credit score with Experian, and you need to know what that credit score is. SmartBusinessCredit.com is a free site that Experian offers that allows you to actually pull up your business and see what's on there. Now again, unlike Dun & Bradstreet, Experian does not allow you to actually register your business and submit the information to go ahead and start building business credit. Again, there's two things that Experian needs to start generating your score. Once the information is submitted to the Secretary of State and they have an SIC code or just some information that's reported on there, they pull your information and they automatically start building your score, just like they do on the personal side. With personal credit, you never have to go to TransUnion or whatever it is. As soon as you start setting up a few accounts, automatically you start generating. Very similar to what Experian Business does. So you want to make sure that you do go to that website. I will provide a link in the description, and you'll be able to put the name of your business, the state, and also the city. And you'll be able to just pull it up, and you'll be able to see it on there and quickly start updating the information in your business. Now, if absolutely nothing pulls up, then you're good. But if you do see your business name on there, you do want to go ahead and check and see what lenders are looking at. That's critically important. Now, once you pull that information in smartbusinesscreditreports.com, you want to make sure you have a BINS number assigned to your business, okay? This is what Experian uses to pretty much manage and keep up with each one of the business credit profiles. Very similar to what a DUNS number is with Dun & Bradstreet. They call it a BINS number with them. So those are the few things that you want to do if you already have a business established, to just verify that you have a business credit profile with Experian, okay? Now, let's go ahead and change the conversation a little bit and talk a little bit more about the Experian Business Credit Score that they have. Now, it's critically important that you understand how Experian Business Credit Score works, because it's very unique, and I think it's what makes them completely different than Dun & Bradstreet, and also the top reason why lenders trust the Experian Business Credit Score and their scoring model, especially when it comes to issuing loans and lines of credit, because it's very thorough as to what it looks at. So number one, the Experian Business Credit Scoring model, they have a few different scores. I should just point that out. You know, that's the thing about business credit bureaus. There's just not one score. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that here in just a second. There's a few different scoring models within each one of the credit bureaus. But as we're talking about Experian, one of the scoring models that you need to understand is called the Intellis Credit Score. It ranges between 0 to 100. What this score does, it rates your business based on other businesses in your industry, how you pay your bill based on other businesses, okay? Let me make that make more sense. See, there's two different types of scoring types. There's predictive and there's performance, okay? Now, performance scoring models basically just looks at your payment history and it generates a score based on what you've done in the past. Predictive scoring models actually predict how you're going to be doing in the future, the potential of your business filing bankruptcy or, you know, whatever it is. So Experian, they actually utilize these two different types of scores in order for them to generate a thorough score for any businesses. So first off is the Intellis Score. The Intellis Score focuses a lot on performance, but it focuses a lot on performance and it rates your business based on other businesses like yours in the same industry that you're in, okay? So again, a little bit kind of different than what other business credit scores and other business credit bureau does. Now, this is the Experian Intellis Credit Score, which again ranges between 0 to 100. Now, they do have another scoring model out there that falls under the predictive scoring model, okay? It's called the Financial Stability Risk Score. Now, this is what I call the predictive scoring model. This looks at your business, your industry, and the potential of you actually filing bankruptcy, closing your doors based on other businesses that are out there. So again, the first scoring model that we talked about, which is the Intellis scoring model. Now, what this does is it focuses a lot. 85% of it is focused on payment history. The other 15% is number of employees, the type of industry that you're in, your revenue, and a few other factors. But again, the Intellis scoring model focuses on, based on payment history, based on how your business is making payments compared to other businesses, okay? So it's more so like a performance scoring model. Now, the other scoring model that Experian has, like I said, is the Financial Stability Risk Score. And this actually is what I call a predictive business scoring model. What they do is lenders look at this to kind of rate how well or how successful your business is going to be in the future, or the chances of risk of your business, your industry failing in the near future. So it allows lenders to actually get a pretty much, views on how to rate your business, how to predict risk within your business. Last scoring model that Experian uses that a lot of people don't know is what I call a blended scoring model. What it actually does is it takes into account the business credit score and also the borrower's personal credit score, and they do what we call a blended scoring model. It's used whenever you personally guarantee credit lines. Whenever you're a startup business, or in order for you to get unsecured business lines, business credit cards that report on the business credit that you personally guarantee, they utilize what we call this blended business scoring model, where it takes into account your business credit score and your personal credit score. So anyway, hopefully hopefully you're learning a lot about Experian business credit score. Now, one thing that I want to talk to you about before we end the video today is, in order for you to actually get into all this stuff that we just covered, in order for you to get an Experian business credit profile, in order for you to get a BINS number assigned to your business, you must actually have an actual business. So let's just quickly go over initially how to set up the business correctly so you can start actually getting the benefits of having an Experian business. So you can actually start building business credit with Experian. So anyway, let's go over some of the steps that are critical that you need to take before you can actually start building your Experian business credit model. So first off, you need to make sure that you're actually incorporated. Okay, that's one of the first steps that you need to do. If you're running a business just like as a sole proprietor, I will tell you right now that that's because you're basically running your business under your social security number. Okay, you want to make sure that you set up an actual corporation. Okay, now it's completely up to you. There's so many different type of legal structures that are out there. There's LLCs, there's C corps, there's S corp. There's so many different types of corporations out there. It depends on what your situation or what you're trying to get done. What I would recommend, and what usually works most with the majority of businesses, is just a simple LLC. So you want to go to your Secretary of State and form an actual LLC. That's the first thing and the first step. Okay, the next thing that you want to do is you want to go ahead and get an EIN number, an employee identification number assigned to your business, and this you can do absolutely free with irs.gov. Okay, I'll probably offer a link in the description on how you can get this done. Simply get an EIN number assigned to your business. Now, it's critically important that all the information that you're submitting with the Secretary of State, with the EIN number, all matches up. It needs to be exactly the same. Okay, this is one of the things that business credit score look at is, does the information match? And one of the things that I want to tell you, if the information does not match, especially with the way that credit bureaus work with gathering and having all these robots take information and start creating this business credit profiles, if the information does not match, you'll find a business that maybe sometimes has two business credit profiles, because maybe the business name is the same but addresses are different. So you have this business credit profile that was going to be set up here, same name, different addresses, and there's another alternative business credit profile, and it's gonna be a whole mess. So one tip is, make sure that all the information that you're submitting with the IRS when you set up your EIN number is the same as the information that you use with the Secretary of State. So this is critically important. The next step is just something that I say every business owner must do. It helps with credibility. It makes a difference as far as if lenders are going to take you seriously. Make sure that you have an actual business address, okay? You can get a virtual address if needed, but I always tell people it's critically important. I know right now most people work from home, but you want to make sure that you have a legitimate business address. It just helps with credibility. It helps with, I always say perception is key when it comes to these type of things, especially when we talk about credit here, okay? So make sure you have a real business address. A virtual address is fine. I'll probably offer you some links below on how you can get your virtual address for your business if you do not have a real business. You want to make sure you get a real website, okay? Go to GoDaddy.com. I'll offer you a link in the description below. Get a real website. I mean, in this day and age, you must have a web presence if you're going to be in business. So that's critically important. Get a real business email address. Please do not use one of these free services for your email. Lenders do look at these. Underwriters do take these things into account. If you don't know, do they have a real business email address? Do they have a real business phone number? Okay, don't use your cell phone number for your business. Okay, these things lenders do take into account. Okay, have a real business phone number. You can get a real business phone number for like less than $10, $15. There's services like Ring Central, Vonage. There's so many different other services out there that you can get a real business phone number. Don't use a Google Voice number as your business phone number, okay? There's systems in place that can check and do see if you have just a free service, text-free number or whatever number like that. Make sure that you have a legitimate business. These are things that lenders, credit bureaus do take into account when they look at the credibility of the business. So those are the steps that you must take. You have to form a business with the Secretary of State. You have to get your EIN number registered for the business with the IRS. You need to get a business website. You need to get a business email. You need to get a business phone number. And then once you have all that in place, you can go ahead and start building some trade lines for the business. We're going to have another video where I talk to you some starter accounts, how you can start building business credit with your EIN number today without you putting any social security number on the application, so you can start generating the Experian business credit profile that we just talked about. Again, as I just mentioned to you a second ago, majority of lenders, when they're going to be extending credit to you, when they're going to be extending loans, lines of credit, they do utilize Experian more than even Dun & Bradstreet as far as the decision is concerned. One of the key things that people don't realize is credit scores, especially business credit scores, that recommends to lenders how much they can extend to you as far as a loan or a line of credit. So whenever a lender actually pulls up your Experian business credit report, they're not just looking at the score. They're not just looking at the IntelliScore or the risk factor score. They actually get a recommendation on that report that tells them, that guides them as to how much they can extend to you as far as credit. And that is based on the information that is on that score. So I always tell people it really helps, especially when it comes to Experian business credit, given the fact that how lenders utilize them and how much weight they have when it comes to controlling your credit. You want to go ahead and start building your Experian credit fast and quickly. You want to establish a lot of trade lines on there. And what we do, if you're not aware of, we help people build business credit. So if you need assistance, if this is something that you need help with, you definitely do want to get in touch with us. I actually created a training that I want you to check out. PCGcreditfunding.com is the website. There's going to be a link in the description where you can take a look at that. There's going to be a free training where I talk about a little bit more about what we just covered today, in depth about the importance of building business credit in general. So you want to take a look at that training. And so we help thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs, as I mentioned earlier, start, grow, or even expand their businesses. So if you need funding for your business, if you need to build business credit, if you need some guidance, some assistance, definitely do get in touch with us. There's going to be some contact information that I provide you in the links below. Other than that, again, like always, I appreciate you for joining me today. Again, name is Brian Otieno, founder of Pentic Consulting Group, and I'll see you in the next video.